Hi, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Daniela Campos. I'm one of the counselors here at Irvine Valley College, and I'm so excited to share all about our career education programs. So today's workshop is titled Fast Track to Success, Career Education in 2 years or Less. It's a little rhyme, so you'll remember what career education is and how speedy and how attainable all of our career education programs are. I'm one of the counselors in the Career Center and also support our Rising Scholar students. So if you have any questions about this program specifically as well, I'm more than happy to answer your questions today. Speaking of questions, we will be having a Q&A. So any questions that you have throughout the presentation, please type them in the Q&A. I will be checking on those at the end of our presentation today and answering all of your awesome questions. So if you're ready, why don't we go ahead and let's get started. So we're gonna skip this one. Let me reshare because we don't have a chat today. But I'll talk about why I included this question. So my original question, when I usually do this workshop, I ask, what did you want to be when you grew up? If I were to answer that question, I usually say I was like about 8 years old, and I remember I wanted to be a veterinarian. I loved animals. I wanted to work with animals. This is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I was going to go to UC Davis, and I was going to be a veterinarian. And then I got a pet, and I took him to the vet for the first time. And my poor puppy needed some shots and was so distressed while getting those shots. I got so upset and I started like whimpering right along with my puppy. It was awful. And I realized I can't do this for a job. You don't know that when you're little, right? When you're little, you get often asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And most of us say things that we see like on TV or what we see in your communities or what we see in our families, but we don't always know what options are available to us outside of those things. And we don't always know what it truly means to have a career in that role. I didn't know what it truly meant to be a veterinarian until I had to take my own pets to the vet as well. And so to get us thinking about like this is something we think about, but we don't always get an opportunity to explore it or think about it in depth. And so with career education, a lot of it is very hands-on, a lot of it really gets you a peek behind the curtain, so to speak, so that you feel comfortable and familiar with what your career will actually look like. So with that being said, on today's agenda, we're going to talk about the overview of career education programs and certificates. So what career education is. I keep using that word a ton. I promise I will define it in just 1 second, but it's a word that you should definitely know, or phrase, I should say. What programs or certificates are available at IVC, what options you have to explore said careers. Like I said, that exploration piece is so, so important. Access to IVC's Career Center resources. You have a whole world of support available to you, and I'm about to share all about it. Access to IVC's Handshake job posting sites. Tips and strategies to further your academic career profile. And I'll touch a little bit about Rising Scholars at the end as well, just because I work with our Rising Scholar students and I always like to take an opportunity to plug the program. So career planning is a mix of education, what are your qualifications, what are your skills, what your job growth or career trajectory would look like, are there opportunities for promotion, and all of that combined creates a sort of vision of success for you. If choosing a major is just step one, but really understanding what that looks like as far as like day to day, how to find jobs, how to apply to jobs can be a little bit challenging for brand new college students. And so here at the Career Center, we're here to help you explore every single step of the way so that you're confident and comfortable in your choices and have a clear plan with achievable goals to be able to move forward through your career journey. It's important Things to keep in mind. The typical person works 88,000 hours over a lifetime. That's a whole lot of hours. That means that you're going to spend a good chunk of your life at your job. So you want to make sure it's one that you're passionate about, that will earn you a salary that you can live with, that will keep you interested and engaged and will allow you to grow over time as you grow yourself. Career planning results in having realistic goals. So a good plan will help you have realistic goals. Realistic is highlighted and bolded because it's a key word. What does realistic mean? It means that you got to pay attention more than just, oh, I love doing this, so this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Like I said, me wanting to be a veterinarian. Love animals. Why shouldn't I have that job? I love animals. But I love animals too much, and if they're hurt, then that makes me upset. It wouldn't be a great idea to have me be a vet when if I came in and a kitty was crying and I'd start crying right along with the kitty, right? So you want to be realistic in your career goals. Is this job enough for me to be able to live in this current space that I'm living? Is this job enough to satisfy my interests and keep me engaged over time? So realistic is important. Because as I mentioned, it has many different impacts on the different aspects of your life. It helps define your lifestyle and gives you a clear picture of who you are. But sometimes there's too many options, and I'm going to go over a pretty big list, but there are ways to narrow it down by taking an inventory of who you are, what you're interested in, what you're good at, and what you can get paid to do. And that's what you do with career exploration, and that's what we help you do at that career center. Don't get overwhelmed. We are here to help. Students who have completed career exploration have more confidence in themselves and are more motivated to achieve their goals. I had a very similar epiphany, right? I realized maybe I shouldn't choose that career path, but I realized I still liked helping others. Maybe it wasn't going to be animals, but it could be people. And after a lot of career exploration, planning, asking, I landed here where I am now a counselor and I help others move forward in their educational journeys. So I'm still doing a way that supports others, maybe just not animals, but helping people is pretty good too. Why do we want to do those through education? Well, education pays, point blank, period. There has been study after study after study done that the more education you have, the higher salary you are capable of earning. And I said capable of earning because you have to apply to the job. You still have to be good at the job to earn those jobs, but education gives you the skills and tools to be able to do so. People with an associate's degree earn an average of about $1,000 a week, and that climbs up the more education you obtain. Here at Irvine Valley College, we offer up to associate's degrees, but they're a stepping stone, and we have so much support and so many awesome partnerships that will allow you to transfer and continue your education on very, very easily. So I kept using this word, now it's time to actually define it, career education. So career education is a fairly new term, actually. It used to be called CTE, or Career Technical Education. Here at colleges, not just IVC, but all colleges, we really love our acronyms. And so sometimes we have to tweak them a little so that they keep up with the times and reflect what we're offering in the present day. So career education provides students with technical education and training to prepare for high skill, high wage, high demand careers. Basically, whatever you're studying, how I like to explain it, and this isn't like a one size fits all answer, but most of the times this is how it gets interpreted. What you're studying is the career that you're going to obtain. For example, if you're studying nursing, you will become a nurse. If you're studying automotive technology, you're going to become an automotive technician. Things that don't fall under career education is like if you're studying English, You could become a professor, a researcher, a writer, but your profession isn't going to be English. So that's typically what the career education programs tend to align with. Again, that's not always the case, but for the majority of the time. Career education programs offer students an additional option to traditional college programs. So it gives you a bit of boost in skills, knowledge, sometimes certificates on your way to whatever your ultimate educational goal is, whether that is a transfer pathway where you're looking to obtain a bachelor's or move further on to different higher level degrees, like maybe law school, medical school, or other graduate programs. Think of career education as a stepping stone towards those things, or maybe sometimes even the ultimate goal. There isn't an either or. Just because you choose career education programs doesn't mean you won't be able to achieve your career goals. As a matter of fact, this is such a popular space that IVC offers more than 100 career-ready associate degrees and certificates in 21 industry sectors. What that means is that we have a ton of programs in a variety of spaces. Things like biotechnology and electrical technology, things like accounting or human development, to give you a peek into a variety of different careers as you move forward through your career exploration and confidence process. So I mentioned certificate and associate's degrees, and I like to define things. I don't like to think that people automatically know things, especially, like I said, in education, we like to use like those abbreviations or kind of unique terms that aren't always understood across the board. So I'm going to define what a certificate is. A certificate of achievement is a certificate that you can earn in a specific area of study. Typically has a minimum requirement of 12 units, and all of those 12 units must be completed at Irvine Valley College. So a class is usually about 3 units. So a certificate of achievement is typically a minimum of 4 classes. If we do some math, 12 divided by 4 is 3. A certificate of achievement is transcripted, which means that whenever you request an official transcript from IVC after you've completed the certificate, it's going to appear on your transcript. A certificate of proficiency tends to be less units. Again, still in the area of study, and usually it's less than 18 units. So if each class is about 3 units on average, that means it's 6 classes or slightly less. So in 6 classes, you could have a certificate in something. And I'll talk about why this is important in a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure you understand what I said when I say certificate of achievement or certificate of proficiency. Why are obtaining certificates important or associate's degrees important? It helps you get into the workforce earlier in areas that you would like to develop. As you may know, the job market is so competitive. I don't know if you've applied for a job lately, but if you have, you might have seen that a lot of the job postings will ask, must have 5 years of experience, must have 3 years of experience. How do you get that experience? More often than not, either things like internships or entry-level jobs in a lower level position. Career education provides students opportunities to enter in those chosen paths and start gaining that experience. And so as they continue to move through your education to earn a bachelor's degree or beyond, you already have experience under your belt and are more competitive for those higher level jobs. Because it's easier to break into an industry at a lower level job. For every one occupation that requires a master's degree, there are 2 jobs that available with a requirement of a university or bachelor's degree. And for every one occupation that requires a master's degree, there are 7 job openings requiring a certificate or an associate's degree. So that means that there's 7 times more jobs for people with an associate's degree certificate than there are people with master's degrees. So once you get higher up into this level of education, the jobs become a little bit more competitive, and this is how you gain that edge, or one of the ways you gain that edge, I should say. So I also mentioned associate's degrees, and because I like defining things, we're gonna do that now. So an associate's degree is a combination of your general education courses. So that general education courses, depending on what your ultimate goal is, but it's typically a mixture of like your English, your math, your science, your history, your art class. What those classes are depend on what your goal is, if you're going to transfer to UBC or Cal State, or if your ultimate goal is an associate's degree. Then the classes differ slightly, but counselors such as myself are here to help you figure out and make sure you're following the appropriate plan for your goal. So remember, general education, math, science, history, English, classes like that. Typically 1 or 2 of each. Then your major courses. Your major courses are your courses related to your major. If you're an accounting major, they're all your accounting courses. If you're an engineering major, they're all your engineering courses, so on and so forth. And there's typically some elective courses also thrown in order to get that associate's degree. All of this has to add up to a minimum of 60 units. So we did some math. Remember that each class is about 3 units. So that's about 20 classes. So if you map it out correctly, that typically takes you 2 years. That's why our fast track to success in 2 years or less is the name of our workshop today. So here on the left, you will see a sampling of some of the major courses. This is for an accounting degree, for example. So the core courses are the introductory accounting courses, 1, 2, 3 courses. And then you have some elective courses, 3 additional courses. So if you complete these plus your general education and it all adds up to 60 units, that's all you need for an associate's degree. But as I shared before, that's not where you typically have to stop, especially with something like accounting. Let's say you get a certificate in accounting. That's about here, vocational certificate. Maybe you get a certificate in QuickBooks because QuickBooks is a common software used in accounting. You can start working with that QuickBooks certificate. You can start gaining experience, maybe as a payroll clerk or a billing clerk, as a very entry-level job in accounting. You continue taking your general ed classes and earn an associate's degree. You use an associate's degree to maybe get a promotion, but you also use it to transfer, and you decide to get a bachelor's degree. You get a bachelor's degree in accounting, and then you're able to take the exam to become a certified public accountant or a CPA. And so that certificate only gave you the way in, but that doesn't have to be the end of your journey if you choose not to be the end of your journey. You can still find a job with that certificate. It can still be useful, but you can keep going if you like. There are a lot of options available to you. So let's talk about them. I keep mentioning all of these awesome options, so let me tell you all about them. As I mentioned, we have career education programs for a lot of them have both certificates and associate's degrees. Sometimes students earn an associate's degree in something but want to pick up like a specialty, and they pick up a certificate in one of these career education programs. Think of it like a minor. When you are at a 4-year institution, you typically get asked if you're picking up a minor. You'll hear somebody say, I'm majoring in biology, but minoring in chemistry. So sometimes picking up a certificate is like obtaining a minor in this space. It's not your main area of focus, but you do have that specialization. So we have certificates and degrees in accounting, administration of justice, art history, biotechnology. If you weren't aware, Orange County is actually a big hub for biotechnology organizations We have Edward Life Sciences, Johnson & Johnson here in Orange County, and lots of other big biotechnology companies. Biotechnology is the mixture of biology and technology. And if maybe you don't want to study biotechnology, maybe you don't want to work for a pharmaceutical company, for example. But the biotechnology certificate gives you very critical lab skills. If you ever want to work in the health field or ever want to apply for any research opportunities, a lot of them ask if you've had lab experience. How do you get lab experience? By earning a biotechnology certificate. It teaches you everything you need to know to work in a lab. And even if you decide not to work in a lab, but later on want to apply for research fellowships and things like that, that biotechnology certificate will definitely come in handy. We have computer information management and computer science, dance, design, model making, and rapid prototyping. This one's really cool too. If you've never visited our Idea at ATEP site, it has where we run the design, model making, and rapid prototyping program. So whenever anything needs to be designed, anything new gets designed. Usually an engineer designs something. Let's say it's a car. Then they ask somebody to make the prototypes. Sometimes it's like a digital prototype. Sometimes it's a physical prototype, like made out of clay or some other material. So like a mini model of the thing they designed just to see what it looks like live. Somebody has to make those prototypes. It could be toys. It could be like most things get made like a sample of those things in order to ensure that it looks how it's supposed to look before they make the full actual product. And that's what our program there does. It actually is an awesome career. There's a lot of job opportunities there, and it pays fairly well to start. We have digital media arts, drafting technology. We have electrical technology, electronic technology, human development, which also known as child development. So a lot of our child care careers. If you want to work in schools or things of that nature, usually the human development program gets followed. Interactive media art, that's like sometimes like game design or 3D or 2D animation. Kinesiology, health and athletics, management, paralegal studies. If you're ever interested in a law career, paralegal studies is a great gateway to that. Real estate, sustainability and resource management, and last but not least, theater arts. So I'm not going to play these videos, but I just wanted to let you know that we actually have a ton of videos available to you that you can look through and learn more about all of these awesome programs. So if any of those names in that last slide look a little unfamiliar to you, but you want to know more about them, we have a lot of awesome videos that you can watch. For example, here's a video on our real estate summit. Here's a video on our manufacturing day, so you can learn about all the manufacturing opportunities available to you. Orange County also has a ton of manufacturing companies. So lots of job prospects. Here's one on biotechnology, like I mentioned. And here's another one on design, model making, and rapid prototyping. They built out the car from a previously made design. Okay. So I mentioned that you could potentially start at a certificate and then say, you know what, I actually want to keep going. You typically don't have to start over. These programs are made so that they align fairly well. And there is quite a bit of overlap, even if you change your mind on your end goal. So let's say you start with that accounting certificate. So in order to get this accounting certificate, you would complete these accounting courses and then 3 courses from below. Let's say you change your mind, you actually want to transfer to Cal State Fullerton as a business major. As you can see, the first 3 classes already overlap. And so does one of the elective classes in management toolway is already over here. So potentially you would only be missing these 3 classes if you decide to adjust your goal to suit your new needs. So there is very clear and direct paths to ensure that you're always on the right track. So just an example of all of the certificates and degrees available in these spaces. As you can see, there is a ton in business administration, as well as real estate. If you look at the abbreviations, you'll see COA and COP. If you recall, that's a certificate of achievement or the certificate of proficiency. And then you'll see abbreviations that say AS or AA. Those are those different types of associate's degrees, and that's where you can differentiate to see which one you're interested in. So when I was going over the programs 2 slides ago, I mentioned the overall like umbrella category, but once you dive into that category, like computer information management, so many certificates. So what if you're thinking, you know what, I really want to go into computer information management, but that's a lot of certificates to get. And I feel like I'm going to need all of them in order to be competitive in the workforce, in order to actually get a job, right? That's going to take me a really long time. Not exactly, actually. Let me get to the slide and then I'll go back. Okay, here it is. A lot of our certificates are what we call stackable, which means if you start with one, there is a lot of overlap in the next one. So the next certificate may only be the difference of 1 class. So let's take this accounting one, for example. Computerized accounting is these 3 classes. You complete these 3 classes and you get a certificate in computerized accounting. The next certificate is financial accounting. The only difference between this one and this one is this 1 additional class. So potentially, if you complete this 1 additional class, 4 classes total, you get these 2 certificates. The next certificate is financial and managerial accounting. So 1 more class, we're down up to 5 classes now, and you get a 3rd certificate. The next certificate is income tax. It's these 2 additional classes. So we're at 7 classes now, 4 certificates. Last but not least, payroll, which is that 1 class. So we're at 8 classes now, and completing those 8 classes will give you 5 certificate of proficiencies. So you saw, let's go back 1, here we go. All these accounting certificates listed, but the majority, you can complete the majority of them in 8 classes. And so there's something similar with some of the other certificates in the other programs. But you don't have to worry about knowing which ones are which. You just let us counselors know your goals, and we got you to help you figure out the easiest and most straightforward path for you. And so also, if you go back to see these certificate of proficiencies, majority of these classes are also what would give you the certificate of achievement in accounting. So lots of overlap to give you lots of varied skills in a variety of areas to make you more competitive and earn you more awards. For example, certificate of proficiency in human development, if you want to work with children. We have, depending on what you want to specialize in, you would take one of these 2 classes, and then another 2 in the elective space, and that gives you a certificate. How long will this take you? This is a question I often get asked. How long is this going to take me? That really depends on you. A full-time student would take a minimum of 12 units, which averages up to 4 classes. If there are no prerequisites, you could potentially take 4 classes in 1 semester and finish in 1 semester. Depending on what your goal is, maybe you don't have time. Maybe you only have time for 1 class at a time. And so you're only taking 1 class a semester, and that's going to take you a little bit longer. We can give you a pretty good idea once you tell us what your work-life balance you're trying to maintain and what you're capable of completing each semester. We can give you a rough timeline about how long it would take, depending on you and your specific needs. Here's another really cool one. And again, a lot of those in the computer information management, if you remember that list of certificates is pretty lengthy. But again, a few of them are stackable. And so you can get certificates in a variety of areas that will let you work in fields like IT or cybersecurity to start off with. And then you can start working and getting that experience and then being able to apply to higher level roles. So here's a success story. I will be pivoting a little bit and talking about the Career Center now. And so this is one of the Career Center success stories. We have very many success stories, but this is one we're always super proud of, and the students love updating us and let us know how they're doing. So this student met with one of our counselors, who's also the Career Center coordinator. Her name is Amanda. The student was applying to all the jobs, wasn't getting any answer. She had the skills, she had the certificates, she had everything, but wasn't getting any interviews. So she visited the Career Center and asking, what am I doing wrong? I need help. And so the counselor and Career Center coordinator, Amanda, looked over the student's resume, did some coaching, did some career exploration to make sure that she was applying to the correct jobs. And after reviewing everything to make sure that she was competitive and all her documents were up to date and clearly represented her skills and abilities, she applied to Google and got a full-time job. And as you can see from this screenshot right here on her LinkedIn, she is now a program manager at Google. So that's just how in-depth and the very type of support services we offer at the Career Center. Whatever your goal is, maybe you don't want to work at Google. Maybe you're just looking for a job at Starbucks. That's okay. We help with that too. Visiting the Career Center doesn't have to be when you're done with your schooling and you're ready to apply to your career. It can be at any point in time. As a matter of fact, I encourage you to visit the Career Center on day one. There's a lot of skills that a lot of students need to learn to ensure that they're able to be successful in their job search, that you can start developing on day one. So visit us, we're fun. We usually have treats, and a lot of information. So exploring majors and careers. The typical exploration is you say, I want to do this when I grow up. Just like I asked in the beginning, you say, I want to be an engineer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. Based on that, then you choose a major. Then once you have your major chosen, you would create an academic plan that says, take these classes in this order and you'll get this degree. And then finally you get experience. But like I said, I wanted to be a veterinarian, but I didn't know what that entailed. So where do I start the career exploration? I kind of have to choose my major on day one, right? You can take classes like Counts in 12, which is one of our career exploration class. You get units. They're typically elective units, depending on what you want to do. And if you have a whole semester of exploration with somebody there to guide you every step of the way. You can talk to a careers counselor, such as myself. Hello. We have 8 career counselors on staff ready to help and explore everything there is to know about what you want to do and how you want to do it in the future. We have a lot of awesome career and personality inventories. So their assessment, where they're like, what are your interests? What are your strengths? What are you passionate about? And that asks a question in such a way that at the end, you'll have a profile, kind of like a summary of what you like to do and what careers would align with what you like to do. And last but not least, get real world experience doing things you love. One of the ways is by joining internships, but another one is by, like I said, engaging in those career education programs. A lot of them have a ton of hands-on training, and a lot of our instructors have real world experience. They work in the spaces that they're teaching and can give you a lot of behind the scenes insight as well. So our goal again is to help you by exploring, deciding, and planning. It's one step at a time journey, right? You're not going to know everything there is to know about what you want to do and how you do it on day one. And we're there to get you to that next step and then the next one, the next one, until you finally climb that staircase and reach your vision of success. That's definitely what we're here to do. And that includes anything and everything you feel you need to get career ready. As a matter of fact, we have a ton of visitors on a yearly basis. And most students usually visit us at least 3 times or more because it's a work in progress. You're not going to know everything there is to know about a resume or how to interview or how to network, how to start a LinkedIn page, what to do at a job fair, or even what jobs are available to you based on what major you chose. And so we're here again to support you in every step of the journey. We offer a ton of workshops that I will talk about in just a second. So some of the services that we offer are career and personality assessment, career resource information and job data. If I want to do this job, how many jobs are available to me? What type of degree do I need? How much will I get paid? Things of that nature. We actually help you find the jobs and apply to them. We help you create a top-notch, for sure going to get you the interview resume. We help with those job preparation skills. Do you know how to, what your body language should look like during an interview? Do you know how to network or practice an elevator pitch during a job fair? Interviewing tips. We have a lot of websites online, all free to you. Everything I'm going to share with you today is all free to you. We have industry speakers, people actually working in the industry, talking about what they do, how they got there, and how you can get there too. Lots of workshops again, and this is going to be mentioned a couple times because honestly, we have so many workshops. And lots of flexibility in the types of appointments that we offer. So some of the ways, again, you can get services through appointments, workshops, or events. So I like to say that the workshops are typically like on Zoom, some are in person, with a room full of people, and to get mostly general knowledge about a topic. I recommend you attend a workshop, kind of gauge where you're at and see more help, see if you need more support, and then schedule a counseling appointment. Like if you attend a resume workshop and then you have like a rough draft of your resume. So now you want to polish it up, make sure it shows you off the way that you deserve to be shown off. Then you would make a counseling appointment where a counselor would be able to work with you one-on-one, either over Zoom or in person, and make sure that you're showing off all your awesome skills and dazzling future recruiters. Some of the workshops we offer are those soft skills. I get the opportunity to speak with a lot of recruiters, and they often say, you know what, I'm really happy that the student have these skills related to their education, like they know Photoshop, or they know how to use QuickBooks, or are really good with data. But they often also ask whether students have those soft skills, being able to communicate clearly and effectively, being able to work in a team, taking initiative and becoming leaders. And so we offer workshops on topics of that nature. We have Get the Job series, sort of steps to make sure you get that job, starting with your resume and ending with those interviewing skills. LinkedIn. LinkedIn was a platform made specifically for networking. Networking is so, so crucial to your future career. Having those established connections will open so many more doors and opportunities to your future availability for openings. And so understanding how to use tools like that is just so important. How to market yourself as a professional, rocking your resume, crafting and writing your speech, just on and on and on. Anything and everything you can think of to get you career ready, we offer that. We even have workshops on digital business cards. As students, you don't always have a physical printed card, but a digital business card just elevates you that a little bit more to make you more presentable, more memorable to somebody that you're networking with. We have something titled the Career Launch Academy. So this is a 4-week sort of interactive workshop. I know 4 weeks sounds like a huge commitment, but it's only 1 hour a week, each of those 4 weeks, and I promise it's worth it. It's a system divided into 8 steps, and I like to think of each step as a baby step to help you build up your confidence and abilities so that by the end of the 8th step, you'll have the know-how and the fortitude to be able to reach out to perfect strangers and make them part of your network and make opportunities for yourself. Highly recommend. Still available every semester. Right now we're wrapping up at the end of the semester, but anytime you look at our calendar, you would see career launch on there. So this is one of the assessments I talked about. It takes together what you like to do, and what your strengths are, and sort of combines them into potential career opportunities. This is if you have no idea what you want to do, you have no idea how you even get started. This assessment will ask you a series of questions related to your interests, what you like to do, what you don't like to do. And at the end, it usually gives pretty accurate results of potential careers that would align with things that you're passionate about. It's completely free. You have to request it at the Career Center. They give you a code, you take the assessment, and then a strong interest inventory certified counselor will meet with you and interpret your result and kind of direct you to majors that align with your goal. Super insightful. Sometimes this thing tells me things I didn't even know about myself. So highly recommend it. We have a lot of online free resources like the California Career Zone. I'll give a demo of the site in just 1 second, but just wanted to share just some of the things available to you. This one has a really cool interactive activity. Remember, I said our goal should be realistic. There's a program in here called Make Money Choices. And so it asks you a series of questions of what you picture your life looking like once you've been established in your career. Are you a homeowner or are you renting? Do you have roommates? Do you have like a brand new type of line car, or are you driving around in a more affordable sedan? Do you eat out every day or do you cook at home? Like, what do you envision your lifestyle to look like? And based on those lifestyle choices, it tells you this is how much money you need to keep up that lifestyle, and these are the careers available to you to keep up that lifestyle. This one also has a quick free activity that allows you to figure out how your interests align with specific goals. One of the things I love about this resource is that there's videos attached to it. So let's say you take that little quiz and it says, you should think about being a nurse. It has a video of an actual nurse talking about their job, what they like to do, what they like about it, and how they got into it. This is a database of every single job in existence, and it's a tool that we use as counselors to help figure out what you want to do. It has most of the information about a specific job in one easy to read place, so you're not looking around different websites and trying to piece information together. This is a website you should know if you need to work on your resume. This is my favorite website. So there's a debate amongst the career counselors about which one is better. Some career counselors like this one, others like this one. I am team own it all the way. It helps students, it provides students the language they need to look polished and professional on paper. It has an extensive database as well of most occupations that exist in this country. And it has a lot of really useful tools that I think just allow students to push themselves to that next step. I mentioned Handshake earlier. So Handshake is our job posting website. So it's employers specifically creating an account on Handshake and posting there looking for college students just like you. So you're not competing with people with like 10 years of experience or anything like that, because it's all college students. This account was made specifically for IVC, so most of the jobs are aimed at IVC students. It's completely free to you. And all you have to do is sign up with your IVC email. Before I go into demos, I just want to give a quick piece of information about how to reach us. You can find us in SSC 230. That's the same building where like financial aid and admission, second floor. Across that bridge or walkway from general counseling, we are located in conjunction with the transfer center. So you'll see a career and transfer center. They're both in that same office space in room 230. Come visit us sometime. We're always having fun there. And if you would like to make an appointment, you would call the number displayed here, or you can either email as well. We have very flexible hours and we're open to both Zoom and in-person appointment. Okay, I will pause for a second so I can switch to some demos. Thank you for your patience while I navigate this tiny screen. Okay, just making sure you're looking at the correct screen. First, I want to help you navigate how to get to the Career Center website so you're able to find all of our awesome resources I just talked about. So I am currently on ivc.edu. If you click on Find Support and navigate to the Career Center, you'll find our super cool website. Here, you'll find our contact information again, along with our operating hours. Here's the link to Handshake, which is that online job board for students. And here is a calendar with all of our workshops. As you can see, we have Pathway to Law workshops. What if you've been out of the workforce for a while and need to address, you have some gaps in your resume? We have workshops for that. We have, are you ready to even launch into your career? We have an assessment for that. We have, if you're undecided, we have a workshop for that. So like I said, we have a ton of type of workshops and you'll see the latest and more by looking at our calendar. But let me navigate you to some of the resources I will be demonstrating. So if you click on section menu, you'll see ONET and Bureau of Labor Statistics website here, which is some of the ones I noted. And then Road Trip Nation. Along with that, you have access to an interview prep website. Again, all of this is completely 100% free to you. So if you want to practice interviewing, this website will have a pre-recorded question of somebody asking you like a standard interview question. And then you can record your answer and it'll go on in sequence until it's done with the interview. And then you can look at the entire recording back and request feedback or review it to make sure that you are engaging in the interview skills that really show off your strengths and allow you to land that job of your dreams, right? So this is where you find those resources. So I mentioned a couple demos. One is Road Trip Nation. What I want to show you at Road Trip Nation is if you click on what we offer. Sorry, tiny screen. Okay. And then you click on Roadmap Tool. This is where I mentioned where it allows you to click through your interests. So you start with one and narrow your way down until you have a top 3 interests. Once you pick on 3 interests, let me just randomly click through and see what it has for me. It then gives me a career that aligns with the interests that I chose. And then, as I mentioned before, it has videos of people actually in those careers talking about what they do and why they love doing it and more. So super cool tool for career exploration. This is the one where I mentioned that it helps you make realistic decisions about your future based on the lifestyle you would like to maintain, and it helps you kind of gauge to make sure you're on the right track. So you would go here, and then it's called Make Money Choices. You have to have an account, but creating an account is completely free. And then you can take the assessment and see if you're on the right track, or if you need to adjust your expectations a little bit. Let me pause again for a second. I'm going to share some things in the chat. Okay, so I just shared the YouTube link for all the videos I mentioned earlier. If you want to check them out and explore some of our different career education programs, I think that's a good starting point, but definitely come talk to a counselor about it. So now I want to do a quick plug about IVC's preview nights. It is like a huge open house. All of our programs will be there. They'll all have tables. The people involved with those programs will be there. You get to ask them questions about their specific programs, and explore what options are available to you. It is to take place on Wednesday, April 16th, 2025, from 4 to 8 p.m. I'm going to share this link with you. If you pre-register, there's going to be a Habit Burger there. So if you love a yummy burger, please make sure to pre-register to make sure you get it in and have some space. Okay, thank you so much for joining me this evening as I shared about all of the career education programs and the services that the Career Center has to offer. As I mentioned before, we also have the Rising Scholars Program, which is a program for formerly incarcerated students or those impacted by incarceration. If you have any questions about that, I would love to support you. Please feel free to reach out and make an appointment with the information provided for the Career Center in SSC 230, and that's where you can find me specifically. And I can tell you all about how Rising Scholars can support you if that is your situation. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I will be switching over to Q&A momentarily.